All right, we're going to figure out what kind of train wreck this is going to be.
Totally ready all the time.
All the time.
Panicking.
Never wasn't ready.
Never wasn't ready. I did not just throw on my headphones the second you just stopped counting. Because I knew that was like,
Did you
perfect.
continue counting in your head, though, to make sure you were at 1?
2.
Here we go. Yeah, so this is the Warhammered podcast. Prepared and everything.
Oh man, we are.
You never
This has been a hell of a week for
never
I think
didn't have
all
it.
three of us.
It's been a thing.
It's been a hell of a 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But this is the Warhammer podcast brought to you by Second Pitch Beer Company
Hi.
and BattlePub Games.
Hi.
All the links are in the
Yeah, comment section, everything.
comment section. The
Can I start off this podcast by may I make an announcement?
yeah.
I want to commend Jas for his naming of the last podcast episode that went out.
I thought you might like that.
It's like, what did you say?
It's like Mulan, but more violent.
He sent us a text message. It was like, what? This is amazing.
That was just it made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
To the point where like my son was like, "Why are you laughing?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it. You'll get it. Who wants to watch Mulan?"
It's not wrong.
No, it's 100% right. That's what made
Yeah.
it great.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that
And
was
if it was
the
Russ,
last
he would be
episode.
right. All right, thank you, everybody.
Yep, there you go.
That's it.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's an appropriate title.
No, it's great.
It was a fun episode too.
It was
so.
It was a very, very funny thing. So anyway, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we're all here. We've all started drinking, which is the appropriate way to do this. Yeah.
At least an hour ago.
At least an hour ago, we started drinking.
Yeah.
This is the Warhammer podcast, where we do.
I brought in some baby food. It was good.
Damn it. Where we do.
That's a deep cut right there. If you
We're
know
not going
what
to
it is,
discuss that, but
if you're watching this and hear that, we know.
Anyways,
Jess is trying to do the intro. It's been a week or 2 weeks since
it's
we've
been 2
met.
weeks. We had to cancel last
Yeah.
week. So
Yeah,
it's been 2 weeks, but we're all here. Well, 3 out of 4 of us are here.
3 out of 4. We did good.
We did great. That's 75%.
Hey,
2-0 and go, baby.
Baseball. That's a great day at the yard.
Dude, that's a 750 batting
That's a
average.
750.
We just need a fill-in producer for the days that I can't.
Yeah.
That I have to fill in here so we can still do the camera change. Anyway, sorry. This is the Warhammered podcast.
So we do Warhammer and nerd culture.
one other
here
thing.
At a wave top level. Next week it's going to be just me. Because I will have killed all of my co-hosts.
I'm sorry. I need Blaustein. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're fucking killing it. We're not making it easy on you.
It's good. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, it is really great. It is good.
But we do nerd culture and Warhammer lore
Yeah.
at a
Wave top level.
There you go. What does wave top mean? You may ask. You know what? I'm glad you asked.
Oh.
That means that we're probably going to get it wrong, and we're only going to throw just enough detail in there. But you speak it with confidence.
Yeah.
That's the.
It's the white guy talk. So it's a heterosexual white male. Just to have enough confidence. Be like, all right,
Why is it always you that just takes the comment just like.
It's just a lot of Kenergy.
Such a good movie. If you have not seen the Barbie movie at this point, you're fucking up. It's such a good movie.
I cried.
It was so good. I laughed.
so good.
I cried.
I actually cried. Like
It's
the end,
so
I was
good.
just like, they're little girls. And they're just
It's so
beautiful.
sweet.
I am Knuff.
Oh, especially for you because you have 2 girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samantha watched that movie and immediately bought the Barbie dream house for him.
I bought the
good job, Mattel.
Kenergy Ken from Mattel Creations. So he has the coat
Really?
and the
Yeah.
fanny pack.
It's like a secret layer drop for Barbie.
Oh, that's funny.
It's got the faux mink and the fanny pack.
Yeah.
and everything.
He comes out at some point this year. So he's still being
hilarious.
built.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
it's pretty good.
I love the one where it's the song Ken. I'm just Ken.
Yeah,
When it won for something and Ryan Gosling
People's Choice
looked
Awards.
around and just are you serious? That was such a
I
throwaway
hope they
song.
win an Oscar for that song.
Yeah, right.
They are nominated.
but
Yeah, they really.
Yeah.
yeah,
great.
Well, I mean, the thing is it's a genuinely
It's
a genuinely original song, and to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with the fact that a song like that is going to win an award,
yeah.
like a People's Choice or an Oscar or whatever, because it's an actual original song for a movie.
That fits well in the movie.
It actually furthers story plot.
Yep.
It furthers character development.
You learn something about the characters.
It's got conflict resolution in it. Like it
My
is
favorite scene in the entire movie.
Yes. Also, it's a fantastic scene.
Bob
but
Fosse tribute.
It's very Bob Fosse. So
Bob Fosse. Who's Bob Fosse?
oh, we'll get into that later, buddy.
God.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's got the Hollywood throwback and like
yeah.
all that kind of stuff in it. It's like, yeah, if Hollywood's going to recognize an original song,
This is a good one.
maybe
to do.
actually do a Hollywood original song and not you got some current pop artist to crank out a song that's
Sounds like
meh.
every other song.
I
that she
just,
does.
I just remember 6 months ago or like a year ago when I heard they were doing a Barbie movie, I was just like, I couldn't roll my eyes hard enough.
Well, the best part was that it came out the same day as Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
they did-
Barbenheimer thing
The
was,
Barbieheimer was
absolutely
But it was such
spot
a
on.
fantastic movie. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Go see it. It's really good.
To give you an idea, I went to the theaters and saw Oppenheimer on 70 millimeter celluloid. Like I
Yeah.
actually went and saw it on film.
Yeah.
I have seen it one time. I've watched the Barbie movie 4 times.
Really.
Yeah, I haven't
seen
saw
Oppenheimer
it. I
yet.
saw it with Sam in theaters. We had a
Yeah.
girl night.
Yeah.
And then I think literally 2 days later, because it was available on theaters and HBO, I sat Jazz down and was like, you are watching the Barbie movie because you're going to think it's the funniest thing you've ever
Yeah.
watched.
And
I
then-
made him watch it.
And then that was right before the wedding. And then my best friend flew to town for
Watched
the
it
wedding.
again.
And the night he landed, I was like, sit the fuck down.
We're watching Barbie.
We're watching Barbie.
And then now, like, if friends come over and we don't really have anything planned, we're like,
You wanna
Have you
we're
seen
going to watch the Barbie
You wanna
movie.
watch the
Yeah.
Barbie movie?
And we make them
So
watch
good.
it.
It's brilliant. And the more I watch it, the more little Easter eggs and shit I find all through it.
There
So,
are
like,
tons.
It's
yeah.
really, really,
it's really
good.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Warhammer.
Pop culture.
No, it's pop culture.
And it's
It's
nerd culture. It's like
relevant. It is
collector
very
culture,
nerd,
the whole
yeah.
nine
No,
yards.
yeah, it fits us what we're doing.
It totally fits. Anyways, so we do things at a wave top level, except for one thing.
What's that?
And that one thing
Tell us, Jazz.
has everything to do
Oh, it's good music.
with this man to my left. This pillar. This pillar of the Pilsner. This. Hold on. I got more. Hold on. This arbiter of the amber.
Steward of the Stout.
The steward of the stout.
The Colossus of Clout.
Colossus of Cloud. Colossus of Cloud.
The hamburger of Hefeweizen. Jim from Second Pitch right here on Jim's Beer Corner.
That reminds me. If you guys give me a second, I'll read a review I got from my Hefeweizen.
Oh,
Hell
yes.
yes.
Yes. Yeah, hold on. Okay, so I'll pour this and then I'll read it. Okay,
Yeah.
before we do that.
Okay, so here in Jim's Beer Corner, because I step away from the mic to do this pour, what he does is he does a deep dive typically on a beer style. Most of the time they're from Second Pitch because they are very prolific in their lineup. But he also does some other reviews of his favorite stuff from around the world, styles that he doesn't necessarily tackle. If you've listened to the previous episodes, you know what we're talking about. We may go to a little bit of a rabbit hole on this one too, because I had a very specific question for him that I called him about last week, and he was like, actually, not total bullshit. And so we may get into
that'd
that
be great,
topic
yeah.
while we're on this too.
Okay, let me
Because we get a lot of positive feedback on how much they've learned from the beer corner,
lot of
because they
people like it?
sure as fuck aren't learning anything about the rest of what we talk about. So,
That's great.
but anyways, let's hear the review. What?
Okay. Hold on, I'm getting the it up right here. So yeah, so we get we have like on our website like kind of like a whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Thing, you know, like
I didn't know that was there. Now I'm going to go blow it up.
Yeah, I check it every morning, and there's usually there's like 50 messages in there,
Oh, gosh.
and like 49.9 of them are like just Russian characters.
Just Russian bots.
Just
taking
Russian
over
bots
your
taking
website.
over our website. I'm just
My
like,
favorite thing.
Good job.
'cause,
Congratulations.
We use a certain POS platform, software, whatever you
Yeah.
want to call it. And there's always somebody in Russia on our website, and I'm like, that's a bot.
Yeah, it's
That's a
100%.
Russian
yeah.
bot. Without time, without fail.
I'm
Anyway,
gonna wait for Jess to come back to read this thing
Oh,
because
okay.
it is just
well, now that I know that that's there, because I've been on your website many a time, and you can order beer for pickup
yeah.
on the website, which is dope. But I didn't know you could leave like reviews on stuff.
Yeah,
so
it's like
I'm
there's like an email thing where it's like email and it's like email info@secondpitchbeer.com.
I'm just gonna blow
And
that up
goes,
now.
Yeah, please do. Just like thinking about you.
Beer Jam is my favorite.
Hugs and kisses.
Love you.
All right, this is from Eric. Thank you,
Smells like
Eric.
butterscotches.
It's
Like those
from
ones that are
Eric.
in your grandpa's sweater.
Smells like cinnamon and sweat.
I want to do this in like a British accent because it's just so great.
Can you do
Thank
a
you,
British
Eric.
accent?
No. Message.
Massage.
I'm wondering if you guys even know what a Hefeweizen is supposed to taste like. Please do a side by side with your beer and Pyramid or any other Hefe.
Oh, that'd be fun. We should do that on the
I
show.
just bought a 6-pack of your beer, and sadly, I'm going to have to pour it out. Yuck. It tastes like dog food and tastes like a rotten banana that's been stored in a shoe. Hugs and kisses, Eric.
Did you really put hugs and kisses?
No, but I want
okay.
to so bad.
I don't think Eric knows what a Hefeweizen is.
No,
supposed to
Eric
be.
doesn't. So, hey, Eric, fuck you.
Yep. There you go. He beat me to it. But I was going to say it for him.
Go fuck you.
Eric, why don't you go fuck yourself?
You know what's interesting is I thoroughly enjoy Hefeweizen.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a big fan of the style of beer.
So next week we're doing a side-by-side of Hefeweizens.
Let's do it.
We're going to call it the
That'd be
Eric
fun.
episode.
Yeah, and
that'd be fun.
I think it's a fantastic style of beer. Now it does have a very unique flavor profile.
An American style, we'll get into it next week, but the American styles of the Americanized Hefeweizens, Pyramid, Widmer, that kind of stuff, is basically a watered-down version of a German-style Hefeweizen, which we make.
Yeah.
Which will taste apparently like rotten shoes with bananas in it.
No, I'd say it's heavier than an American style Hefeweizen.
No. He's saying that the American style stuff is a watered down version of the German style.
Yeah.
But he makes his in the German style.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
this is somebody that is
They go to
there are
Wurstfest.
craft breweries out there
Yeah.
that, like, if you go and you order a flight from them, they are going to bring you 5 little glasses, and every single beer along that line is going to look exactly the fucking same.
Right.
They are going to tell you they are different, and they're all going to look exactly the same.
Wink.
And when you deal with breweries like that, the way they can get away with that is that it's very fast, it is watered down, and they don't make it as intense because what they are not after quality, they are after quantity. They
Right.
do not care
Yeah.
about accuracy. They care about easy to drink.
And they're also, they care about hitting the largest swathe of the population.
And if you can make it very easy to drink, meaning there's not a lot swath is
Swath.
the word you're
Thank
looking
you.
for.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I knew it was wrong.
No, that's a watch.
Sorry. I was thinking like a swatch
Fucking
of
so
fabric.
good at this.
But what they're after, and now I do not own a brewery. Okay, I just stayed at a Holiday Inn Express one time.
What?
Yeah. But what you're gonna,
I miss those commercials
so
so
good.
much.
but what you're gonna find is their stuff it's watered down. It's weaker because it's easier to drink. There's a reason that all of the light beers that are popular in America are so popular, and people like base their personalities on them, and it's because they're super easy to drink because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
What you find out with these people, like Eric, is they think they like a beer style until they have it in its traditional style, and then they go, "Oh, this is too much," and it's like, that's because the Germans.
The Germans don't give a fuck.
They also have a very, very intense flavor profile in all of their food, all of their drink, all of their
Sauerkraut?
everything.
Horseradish?
Sauerkraut. Go eat a Black Forest cake.
It's
Oh my
I can't do that.
God!
too
Like the
much.
flavors are just everywhere.
Yeah, it's-
Like their stuff is dialed up to 11, and Americans can't handle it. The only ones that actually like German style beers, true German style beers
Yeah.
in America,
Yeah.
are either like the military that got stationed there and had
Yeah.
it in its locale and
We
go
have
like,
a lot of people from the
holy
that
shit,
Hefeweizen.
this is, they get used to it.
or German expats.
German expats, or people like me that hate themselves. So Eric, maybe before you start quoting other breweries, you should make sure that those breweries aren't just delivering you at 50%. Like you strike me as the kind of person that watch movies with subtitles on.
I would love to see Eric try a Hefeweizen in Germany and then tell the German brewer that it's wrong.
No, I really wanted. I want
Yeah.
that too.
Because that's what your Hefeweizen tastes like. It's so true to an actual German style. It's not an Americanized version of a Hefeweizen.
Yeah. So, Eric, you won't hear the show, but if you do, if for somehow you find out
that we
about
talked
us
about you.
and that we talked about you, I would like to let you know that you come across as the human equivalent to 80-20 ground beef.
No, you're fine.
It was like,
fine. Yeah, you did it. Yeah,
okay.
like you'll make a meal.
I
He
guess.
seems like
Anyway,
the kind of guy
but
that
do you know what is
does
not
his
the
base
80-20
boards.
of beer? This guy right here.
God, I'm so excited. This
I've
is back.
already started drinking. I'm sorry.
Admiral Stradling. So, a little bit of background on this one. I always love to say this. Admiral Stradling is actually named after a real person.
Yes, it is.
This is named after my friend. He is in the Royal Navy.
He still is?
I think so. I haven't talked to him in a
Okay.
long time. But he is in the Royal Naval. His name's Duncan Stradling. Love you, Duncan. And so I wanted to make a beer named after him, and yeah, this is it. So it's called Admiral Stradling's Pub Ale. It's a best bitter in the style. So there's ordinary bitter, regular bitter, and best bitter. This is a best bitter.
What makes a best bitter versus like a normal bitter?
Alcohol level.
Okay.
Yeah. It's best bitters are a little bit higher alcohol. They're about 4 to 5%.
Okay.
Like original bitters, like what I really wanted to make was like 2.5 to 3.
Okay.
And I was just like, people were just like, you can't sell that. Sorry, Americans will not buy it.
Why not?
too
They buy
low.
Michelob.
That's true, but that's 4%.
Or zero alcohol, whatever they're
Yeah.
advertising
I guess that
for
is, yeah, fucking
now.
let's do it.
I almost rioted when I found out Guinness made a 0% beer.
Were you in a grocery store? Like you're just in HEB and just
No, I
like,
just
what
like
the
One of our
fuck?
distributors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Was
Sells
like,
it.
hey, we have 0% Guinness. And I was like,
What?
what the?
Why would I want that?
Yeah. That's like putting a condom on only
And
to
all
find
the
out she's still at
ads-
the grocery store.
all
Like, that's
the-
not, what is the point?
The ads for it's so funny. The ads for the zero alcohol stuff is like, do dry January, but still have your beer. And I'm like, that just makes you sound like an alcoholic. That you can't have you're essentially drinking sparkling water flavored beer, but you have to have something that's beer flavored, but
That's
you're
like-
doing dry January. So you sound like an alcoholic.
Yeah, like 0% White Claw. Like we
Yeah.
talked about. That was like, that's LaCroix.
It's
Yeah.
LaCroix.
So a lot of people are getting sick because of non-alcoholic beers.
It's not good for you.
No, it's well, the reason is that the alcohol actually helps like not have bacteria in it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of like smaller breweries have tried to do non-alcoholic beers because you can do it with like yeast and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you can like ferment out the sugar, but it doesn't produce alcohol or something like that. I don't know. I don't look at the science that closely. But there are places that are like doing it, and then all of a sudden, like, oh no, your beer has fucking botulism in it. You know?
Botulism isn't.
Why?
Something to mess
Why?
with.
Why are you looking at beer and be like, this would make this awesome
No
if it wasn't
alcohol.
beer?
Yeah.
If I can just hate myself even
I
more.
want beer, but I don't want it to do everything that beer does.
Yeah. It's everything that makes it good about beer.
Yeah, this
Just a non-alcoholic proof is God hates us and wants us to be unhappy.
yeah. This is like taking the
Yeah.
blade. This is like taking the blade out of your lawnmower and wanting to know why your lawn doesn't get any shorter. It's like, what do you?
It's just called a fucking walk.
It's like, bro, just have a Coke. Sit down.
Yeah.
Like Jesus.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Admiral Stradling, it is basically the great grandfather of an amber ale. It's going to have a lot of caramel flavor to it. It's going to have a lot of real good deep dark bread kind of flavor, bread notes to it.
This beer actually reminds me of one of my favorite English beers,
Yeah.
which is also a bitter. But it's called Old Speckled Hen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm a fan of Old Speckled Hen. And it's a lot like this. It's one of those. It is the definition of. I went down to the pub and had a pint.
Yep.
And it's
That's what you do.
yeah, it's good. It's not a. I'm not trying to downplay the beer, but the fact of the matter is that it's not supposed to be crazy complicated. It's just supposed to be like, yep, tasty.
Yeah, it's a beer that we wanted, because that's my favorite thing about English beers is that pub culture in the UK is such a huge thing, and it's for people to sit down, have multiple beers, and spend time with friends and to talk and hang out. And I wanted to make a beer that really kind of facilitates that. And I feel English beers do that the best out of any of the other ones.
That was my favorite thing about going to Europe is the pub culture.
Yeah, that's really fun. Where you just go to the pub and that's where your friends are. And
I saw a
that kind
video
of
the other day that was the chick said you're moving flat, so you have to return all your glasses to the pub. And she was like moving, and she picked up like this arm of glasses and walked down her stairs and to the end of the block, which was like she was like the third house in. So she walked out of her flat and walked like 3 houses down and then across the street and through the pub door and just set them all in the end of the thing. And the bartenders even batted an eye. They were just like, "Hey, thanks," and they
I
just went
appreciate
to
it.
washing them, and just because
yeah,
it was they
That's
did
like
last
you
call and she picked her cup up and just
all right, see you
walked
later.
to her flat
Yeah.
and
All right, bye.
Then she was moving, so she took them all back to the pub, and I was like, holy shit.
That's cool. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, until you're that bar owner and realize that you have $5,000 worth of glassware that's out in the public that you're waiting to get returned.
Yeah, but your pub is like the King's Crossed Arms. You've been there for 400 years and pay taxes on like a third of like the.
You don't pay taxes.
Yeah, you don't
anymore
pay
at that
taxes
point.
on it because
it's like a
just,
legacy.
Yeah,
A
you're
legacy
grandfathered in from like Richard III.
Yeah. You'll have those ones that they're like, you walk in and you're like, what's with these bricks? And they're like, oh, they were hand hewn by the owner in 1653 when he built this place.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Out of that, and the mortar has his blood in it. And it's
Yeah.
like, Jesus.
Rumor has it he used his child.
Yeah.
He had 4. It
Wild.
was fine. So what was your question again about this?
So I called Jim last week, and we were originally going to talk about it, and then life got in the way. So I'm going to bring it up now.
Okay.
So I heard it on my search profile and cookies and the way all that stuff works. I get a lot of stuff that comes across my social media that has a lot to do with the rest of my social. So like my whole social media is flooded with like beer, motorcycles, and tabletop gaming. 'Cause that's
Right,
most
yeah.
of the stuff that I view on the internet, right? And so, but this thing came across, and it was like a Guinness fan page.
Mm-hmm.
It was like these people that are just like huge. You find out all sorts of goofy stuff, like finally did the perfect pull where I split the G, and it's like, what the?
Oh yeah, it's a big thing. Yeah.
I don't even. I'm like, what?
What?
The splitting the G?
It's like finding the clitoris.
No, it's apparently you pull a.
You pour a beer perfectly, and then the foam line is right at the G.
Yeah.
It's like right where it's perfectly supposed
And
to
it's
be in
like,
Guinness
oh,
glass.
Okay.
And so
whatever.
the foam line, like when it settles, it's like perfectly on the top and everything. It's like, and I've seen it happen. Like I've done it before, and I'm just like, "Ooh, that does look pretty."
Well, this one was after he pulled it. It was like he drank the first pull off of it to the point to where the top of the glass now split the G. Like it was this. I was like, okay, you could just drink the damn beer.
Yeah.
Anyways, on one of these fan pages, it was actually talking about Lent's coming up, and this guy was talking about doing his Lent and doing a 100% liquid fast, and he's going to do because I guess Easter's like 46 days. Like Lent's like 46 days long this year.
Right.
Because of because it's a leap year this year or something. So anyways, it's thrown things off to where it pushed the weekend. I don't know. Calendars. And
Fucking Mayans.
fucking Gregorians.
Gregorian, their calendars.
Anyways, this guy's talking about for the 46 days of Lent, no food, just Guinness.
Yeah, I know. You told me
For
that.
like 46 days, and he's thinking it's going to be somewhere between 300 and 400 pints.
That's how you die.
To
That's
get
how you fucking die.
through it. And I was like, that's 10 pints a day.
That's alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, that's dying.
That's-
But then there's historical fact behind it.
So I read this thing and was like, hold on, I know an actual beer nerd. I'm going to call him because Jim doesn't just make beer. He's one of these people that's like hyper obsessed with the history and everything of it, because that's where you get a lot of your ideas for what to make from. You don't just go like, well, I had a Reese's cup the other day and I've decided that would make a really good,
yeah.
that
Yeah, like
would
the
make a
more
really good
historical-
Pilsner.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're like, you like to pull from, you're kind of
Historical
in the mindset of like everything that's been done has been done. So I'd rather just
Do
take
what
the
they
stuff
did.
that's proven and then make my version of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you know the history. So I was like, I'm going to call Jim. So I called Jim and I told him about it. He was like, okay, one, you can't do that. You'll die.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
Guinness or any beer does
doesn't
not
matter
have the
how-
nutritional
yeah.
value enough to do that.
I know the old Guinness posters where it was like Guinness for lunch, for health, and
Yeah, Guinness
it
for
was like-
strength, and
yeah, and it was
yeah.
like, okay, one is a thing.
Yeah.
Existing on it alone
It's bad.
is not a good thing. But apparently there is a historical reference
Yes.
for this Lenten fast.
And it actually doesn't have anything to do with Guinness.
But it's a beer fast.
It's a beer fast. So back in the medieval times, the Catholic Church.
Not the restaurant.
Yeah, no, just like the Middle Ages. Also not the restaurant.
I want to go to that restaurant so bad.
There's one in
one?
Houston.
Is
There's there really?
road trip?
Done. So during medieval times, Catholic Church was or yes, it wasn't the Catholic Church, it was the church, was a huge thing at that point. Monks. And so you would have monasteries that would be making beer like they do in Belgium. And this is where a lot of the Belgian Trappist tradition came from. So during Lent, these monks would actually fast, like almost like Ramadan, where it's sun up to sundown.
Yeah,
you
you're
don't
not
eat.
eating.
You eat. You have a pretty good, except back then you didn't actually do it the way they do in Ramadan. Ramadan, they have a huge meal in the morning, and then they have a huge meal at night when the sun goes down.
In the mid ages, their sleep schedule is not how it is nowadays.
Yeah, it was really, really different.
Very different.
But yeah, anyway, so Ramadan, they do it the right way. It's like a very much healthier way to do it. These times it was basically like you have an extra bowl of gruel, and then at night you have like, salted beef and a piece of barley. But so what they would do is, they would fast throughout the day. But there was always a caveat with that, is that liquids were okay. So these monks in the monasteries, they would brew beer, or they would brew at this time a more hearty beer, thicker beers, something with more alcohol in it, more sugar, more grain was involved in it, to create a beer that they could drink throughout the day and not
feel hungry.
And not feel hungry, but also to sustain themselves, because their workload would not go down either. So these monks would still have to tend the yards,
and
do
farm
service,
and milk
farm and mill. They
Because what a
still,
lot of people
nothing
don't know about monasteries now versus then is that the monastic lifestyle before was
work.
And it was closed. Like you were a self-sufficient entity. So like that monastic system was, you went there for study and contemplation, but that means that there was no outside influence.
Right.
And then it was supposed to be sacrificial. So you had to make enough to have surplus to give out to those that needed it.
Yeah.
So it was
basically
animal tending and farming and writing and
so monasteries back in like the medieval times, not the restaurant, the era, that was more like a hippie commune. To be perfectly honest,
yeah, it's very similar to nowadays.
It's like it would be a hippie commune where they just don't leave.
Yeah, but more with more self-flagellation.
More self-flagellation, a lot more kneeling. Maybe not the same amount of kneeling.
Different purposes.
Different purposes of this.
Same amount of robes, though.
Same amount of robes. Same amount of robes.
You weren't alive in the mid ages. The kneeling could have been for the same amount of time.
Yeah, same
Same
reason.
Same
Same stuff.
that nowadays
a lot of
happens.
guys hanging out.
Well, different reasons. Same amount of kneeling, just different reasons.
Maybe half and half.
Maybe half and half. Anyway, we're saying that monks were blowing each other.
I know, I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Reminds me of a Tropic Thunder.
I mean, enough 40 days of just straight drinking.
Yeah. So anyway, that was what it was. It wasn't, you cannot just drink beer for 40 days and be alive at the end of it.
Still got to eat at night.
Yeah, but if you do it that way, where you have like a meal and then it would be like very similar to nowadays. The beer that they would make then, it would be very similar to nowadays, where you would have a meal in the morning and then you would drink an alcoholic protein shake throughout the week or throughout the day, and then you have a meal at night, which is people do that.
So what if I just do
anytime.
46 days of Guinness, and then if I'm really feeling peckish, I just hit myself with like a Snickers?
I think that's fine.
One peanut.
Okay, fine. You can do a Snickers and a
single block of cheese
and some beef jerky.
A little bit of jerky.
A little bit of jerky.
If anyone knows that block of cheese reference and puts it in the comments,
I'll mail you some swag.
I'll mail you some swag.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's where it came from. Drink Admiral Stradling. It's a great beer.
It is.
I'm very proud of it.
Super good. I'm super glad it's coming back.
Yeah, it's my favorite, and it's going to have a pretty long release. It's going to be until. So we're starting a little early because it was supposed to be. Oh no, it's February 1st. No. Oh, we nailed it. Perfect.
Yeah. So this episode will come out on February 2nd.
Okay.
But it comes out next week.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's getting all of its shipments out this week.
So it'll be available next week.
So it'll be available next week.
We'll have it here.
Yep.
For as long as we can get our hands on it.
Mm-hmm. It's
and
an easy beer to make, so I can literally like just remake it. It's not like one of those things where I'm just like, fuck it, it's done.
so good.
Yeah.
And
is it going to be an HEB this year?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So highly recommend it. If you're listening to it local, go wherever you can to get your hands on it, because it's
a good beer.
It's
of course,
good,
go to
super
Second
good.
Pitch Beer.
Or as my English friends would say, it's a good beer for pulling wrists. they
Yep.
used to say. Yeah. Like pulling someone close, talking to them, like having fun.
But yeah, first place you need to go buy it is at Second Pitch Beer Company. Go buy it straight from the source. Buy it off their, get it on their draft wall, or
You're
buy
canning
cans
it,
from
right?
them and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was yelling.
go to the
at.
brewery. If you're local, go and do it. Second place that I highly recommend is you go to BattlePub Games and you get it from their draft machine.
Yes,
And then I guess after that,
just wherever you can.
HEB.
you can go to HEB or whatever. But go buy it from the guy that makes it. Come on, support local.
Yeah.
It's
You
ridiculous.
can also get a crowler like that of it from their brewery. You can order it online and pick up in store.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Anyways, we have an interesting topic today to talk about now that we're half an hour into the show already,
really
talking about
already?
beer. For those of you that were here for the Warhammer content, sucks to suck. We're actually
We're
going to
not
talk about
doing
something
Warhammer.
kind of cool today. This is as smooth as the transition gets right here.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Primarchs and the toys they play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about Primarch's personal weapons.
Like erotic personal weapons.
That depends on the Primarch.
I don't know. Do you call your erotic stuff a wepen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
This is going to take offline. This is
Doorknob of death.
We're gonna regroup after this.
yeah, I'm going to regroup.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah. Just look, anything's a weapon if you're creative enough, and everything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
That's fucking true.
I guess that is true. That is true.
It's like, yep.
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 That is the thing.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Anyways, we're going to talk about Primarch weapons because some of them are super cool and some of them you're just kind of like, wow, that has nothing to do with them at all, does it?
Yeah, that's just,
I
they just
thought we
made
were
something.
speculating on what their personal weapons would be.
No, they actually,
actually
they're
have
actually
them in
all
the lore.
listed. They've all been talked about. Some of them play a bigger character role than others. I do not know them all, but he has a cheat sheet. I do know some of them. So I will go ahead and kick this off with the big bad voodoo daddy himself, Horus, has a weapon that he is mighty fond of.
He has two.
I heard in private though he calls it his daddy's little hammer.
Fuck.
But he has a maul
Yes.
called World Breaker.
World
Breaker. If you don't know what a maul is, it's a stick with a ball on the end.
Yeah, it's a big ass banging stick.
It's
See it on the model.
he carries it on both of his models. It's damn near unbreakable. Can't be wielded by anybody other than him due to its sheer just size
just
and
massive
mass
size,
and all that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
So it's like Thor's hammer.
No, it's more like a Morning Star. Have you ever seen those?
Or a mace.
Or mace?
It's a
Well, I
stick
know,
with a
but
ball.
it's like the same idea as
no.
Thor.
So Thor's hammer is if you're not worthy, you can't pick it up. Literally, you have to be as powerful as.
It's
so like
the
another
si- it's
Primarch
like- it's like
could pick
8
it up.
Yeah, it's like, but
Really heavy.
Yeah, it's like 8 feet long.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
another Primarch could lift it.
Yeah, they can lift it, but they couldn't really use
But
it.
he
like
trains
can.
with it and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But this thing is, and it can be charged with energy and all that kind of, especially later on when he's got all of his, when he's got the old four that make
There's-
him
yeah.
tingle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so he's got this maul that was made by, I think the Emperor made that for him.
yes.
I'm going to say,
That
Present?
sounds right.
yeah. So the Emperor, so a lot of times with this lore, with their personal weapons, they're usually gifts. They find them, or they're gifts from like another brother makes them for them.
Some of them,
And
yeah.
some of them, they're kind of fun. So Horus has two really good weapons. And this is also, we talk about their weapon.
You're not going to talk about his claws, are you?
Yeah, of course.
But Horus has
They're the most
that, too,
important
because
thing.
he's the
They're
War
not the most
Master.
important thing. World Breaker's the only one with a name. His claws are just part of his armor, and he doesn't get that till
they're
after he
called
gets
the
injured.
Talons of Horus.
Yeah, it's called the Talons of Horus.
That is it's a huge thing. Like
You're stroking your World Breaker at this point. It's,
that is what I call it.
It is what it is.
it's
Yeah, so he has that, but he also has the Talon of Horus, which is a lightning claw that has bolters attached to it. So
sort of. So lightning claws and his talons are actually two separate things.
Yeah.
So lightning claws are like Wolverine style.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
on the wrist and they kind of pop out and you still have the use of your hand.
Right.
The talons of Horus are actually a 5-fingered gauntlet
claws.
that he wears
with knives.
that have the big scythes on the end of them.
More Freddy Krueger.
And they're like, it's like Freddy Krueger, but they're like a meter long a piece. They're
Yeah.
insane.
And they're powered.
It's literally on
And they're
the model.
and they're powered, unlike lightning claws, which
Are powered. They're powered too.
They're powered, but they have like a surface thing. This operates like a power weapon. So
Yeah.
all 5 blades operate like a power sword or any of this stuff to where it's essentially like a lightsaber, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few weapons.
Still around in the 41st.
Who
Or
has those
42nd.
claws right now?
Abaddon.
Abaddon took the claws.
That's
Abaddon
why
uses-
they're on his model.
Where's Worldbreaker?
Worldbreaker was...
Yeah, that's
No,
a
that's
total
lost.
whole nother story.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
No, it's fine. It's just that Worldbreaker's not being wielded by anybody. It's gone. It's gone.
It's
gone.
it's
Like
too
destroyed?
fucking big.
It's too big for anybody to have done. It just fell out of the lore.
It's a 10 post. Somebody's using it to hold up a wall.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Trazen has it. That motherfucker has everything.
He's great.
Somebody needs to update that. I'm going to go on Wikipedia and update
His list.
that Trazen
Yeah,
list.
Yeah,
just
he
put it on there and be like,
Worldbreaker.
he's got Worldbreaker. And I'd be like, where did you find
you
this?
find
And be
that?
like,
It's
where
like-
else would it be?
Headcanon.
Dave Abnett that's reading it. And he's like, what?
That's brilliant. It can Oromite and all the other stuff, like the Custodes armor, the Emperor's own armor, and all that kind of stuff. The Talons can actually pierce all that
Yeah.
stuff. It can actually
Extremely
it just-
powerful. But then also it has these massive like almost like a on the back of it has like a what do the Terminator shoot?
Bullets.
What? Oh, yeah, the mass reactive rounds.
No. I mean, what's a gun that the Terminators have?
Bolter.
Not bolters. It's their
Las cans?
rapid fire bolters, like the two-headed ones.
Oh, the combi bolter,
Yeah, combi bolters. Maybe like a combi bolter on the back of his hand.
which he like never uses.
yeah, which he
it's
can.
there,
Yeah,
but he
it's
just
there,
doesn't
but he
use
never
it.
uses it.
Last resort.
So anyway, yeah, he's really cool. He does that, and it's Worldbreaker stuff thing. But also, I want to also point out that yes, they have these weapons, but like any great warrior would have like multiple weapons. Like they have rooms full of weapons.
Yeah, I mean, like
they have their
talk
fave.
About,
They have their
talk about,
fave.
They talk about Gilliman and his like
Yeah.
gallery of
Yeah,
weapons.
they have their
that he's
favorite.
collected from everything, but they have stuff that is legitimately associated with just them.
And then there's also some Primarchs like the what's his face? The Lion. He has stuff that is like war oriented and then ceremony oriented.
Yeah, well, Gilliman does too.
Yeah, and
like
Gilliman
he's
does that
got this
too.
dress sword and
He's got a
whatever,
dress
but,
sword, but he's got like a real like, oh no, this is the thing that fucks you
And then
up.
he's got the Ultramarines are really into hammers, which is
Yeah.
odd. Two of the most famous ones, and now I'm going to hope you ever cheat sheet because I don't remember their names,
Okay, I'm on it.
are actually Ferrus Manus and
Ferris Manor was Forgebreaker.
his Forgebreaker, but the Emperor's Children Primarch.
Fulgrim?
Fulgrim. So these two meet for the first time after being found, and they meet on Terra. And underneath the Hollow Mountain, there's apparently the Emperor's forges, where the Emperor makes his weapons and stuff like that. And these two decide that because Fulgrim is the perfection of power, and Ferrus Manus is this master of craft, it's perfection versus craftsman.
Right.
And they go into this competition to see who can make the better weapon. So Ferrus Manus makes a sword, and Fulgrim makes a hammer. And so they make this thing, and it's something like they're down there for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks
Ferrus
or
Manus
something.
is
So
Iron
Ferris
Hands?
Manus, his iron made Fireblade
Fireblade.
for Fulgrim because I got the
But it
full
wasn't
cheat sheet.
for them in specific. So what they did is they made this thing as a competition to see who made the better weapon.
So
they were,
Fulgrim was making Forgebreaker, and Ferris Manus was making Fireblade.
But
and
they
they
were
were like
doing
next
it
to each other, like man, you
as a
suck.
competition
Yeah.
to see who could make the better weapon. And it wasn't I'm making this for you. It was, I'm making this to prove I am a better craftsman than you are. So it's
feel
two Primarchs, and they're in this forge for like 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, just pounding
Just
away at each other.
with apparently no break. They just make these things.
That makes sense for Fulgrim. I
Well,
don't know too much about Ferrus Manus, but
So
going
what
up
happens at the end of it is they go, we can't choose a winner. They're both perfection.
Yeah,
like
they're
they're
just
as
so
good as
good.
they get. So they gift them to each other, the two brothers, and that's how they ended up bonding. Was they go through this competition and go like, I can't declare I'm better than you, and you can't declare you're better than me.
Yeah.
But in honor of this competition, I want you to have this sword.
In my brain, there's like a ghost moment where like the hands are combined.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much an 80s montage of them doing it. But then one of the
There's, like,
montages,
one of them is just like,
they're both working with the hammer, with like on the forge, and it overlays, and they're in sync, and then
Yeah.
they make eye contact, and that's when they knew.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like
Yep.
I feel like that's a Mentos commercial.
It should be. Warhammer Mentos.
absolutely.
Henry
I don't
Cavill.
know why.
Henry
So,
Cavill. You're welcome.
So they trade the weapons, and they gift them to each other. And Ferrus Manus carries Forgebreaker
Yep.
as his primary weapon into battle, and
Which is a Thunderhammer, or it's just a Warhammer.
it's a warhammer that he can channel power through and all this kind of stuff. And then what is it, Firebrand, whatever it is,
Fireblade.
Fireblade gets given to which is supposed to be this perfect blade, and he's supposed to be this phenomenal swordsman.
Yeah,
And
he works.
so he carries it.
Pre-heresy, like pre.
This is
Fulgrim
right.
burning.
So this is during the Great Crusade.
Yeah.
Because as he's
This
finding
is-
the sons, there's a period where he brings them all back to Terra.
Well,
and
they
get
all
to-
like train together kind of stuff.
yeah, to
and then
kind of
they-
learn
Yeah.
what it is to be an Imperial son and all this kind of stuff. They all have their own apartments and shit in
Yeah.
in the Imperial Palace. There's
Well,
like
it's a mountain range, so
yeah.
It's like a
everyone comes home for
like
Christmas.
when you go to college. And
Yeah.
No. It's in the lore. There's
No.
yeah, but when you come home from college and whatever. But in the lore, they all have these like
No, it's like you're in college and you're in dorms.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's
yeah.
thinking-
It's
kind of.
like like the I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the reception day where like you meet everyone, you go have lunch,
Yeah.
you figure out who likes what.
Oh, you're into that too? That's
Oh, and then
super cool.
you're in dorm B. I'm in dorm D. Like,
Well, apparently in the Imperial Palace, there's like a section where all of the Primarchs had like their own
cottage. Yeah.
like apartment.
is there a book about this?
It's mentioned in a couple of books.
Yeah, they'll go down to a place and they'll be like, these are all like Primarch-sized houses. little
One of
cottages.
the
This seems like a wholesome period of time.
It's such wholesome.
and like
Just
all
stayed.
the furniture in the apartments is like oversized and shit. Like it's all like built for Primarchs. So these two trade weapons, and that's this is during the Great Crusade. So he doesn't start carrying the black blade.
Who's
Fulgrim. He
Yeah.
doesn't start carrying that black blade that he finds in the Den of Snakes or whatever until later on. And he doesn't actually ever get rid of Fireblade.
No.
He just carries both.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of the models you see, he's got like one on his hip, or like a lot of the paintings, there's one on his hip and one of these holding.
That's so sweet, though.
One is Fireblade and one
But
is.
I'm like,
One is the
but
black
you
blade.
really get into the lore of those two. I'm like, just to bring it up, I'm like, Fireblade was used to chop off Ferrus Manus'
Yeah,
head.
and then later he kills his brother. He kills his brother with the
the
blade that
sword
he
he
made
made.
for him. He beheads him.
and then
poetic,
Forgebreaker was then gifted to Perturabo.
Peter
that,
Turbo.
Peter Turbos.
Peter Turbo had got Forgebreaker from Horus.
We talk about
as a
him a
symbol. This was during the heresy.
Yeah,
as
this
a
is
symbol of of his
trust
like,
and
of
whatever.
trust
But
and everything.
Peter Robbo sucks. So we don't care. Vulcan also has a hammer.
Yeah, Vulcan has a hammer. Let me pull him up.
But Vulcan builds his own.
Yes.
And he never gives it up. That doesn't ever go anywhere. And so a lot of the stuff that he makes appearances when he's talking about like his downtime, he's always working on it. Like he's always like tuning it, and because apparently it's got like all this tech inside of it that he designed and put in there. So the Lord of the Salamanders, Dawnbringer. That's what it is. So the Lord of the Salamanders the Lord of Drakes, has this thing that he built. And so even like jump forward 3,000 years from the heresy and the beast arises and stuff like that, when they find him on Vulcan, and so Vulcan is actually from a planet called Vulcan. I don't make the rules.
No,
Live
it's
long
just the
and
planets
prosper.
from Nocturne.
Nocturne.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And so they go find him. He's been
cheats.
protecting his home planet for a while. There's parts of that novel where in his downtime he's sitting there just like tuning his hammer. And
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? It's a hammer. It's like,
yeah, but I'm like, how are you fucking with a hammer?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what he's doing.
yeah. But it has like a teleporter in it. Apparently, according to this, it also has a built-in laser cannon.
Cool.
Yep.
You know, so that's
And
really
I think
cool.
it's also like 2 meters tall.
yeah, it's fucking huge.
2
What is
meters
that in, like,
it's
American?
6.5 feet.
yeah, 6.5, 7 feet tall.
Yeah, the big hammer.
Just fucking rocking people.
Yeah, no.
So it's 3.3 feet is a meter.
And how tall is a Primarch?
Oh, like 3.5, 4 meters. They're huge.
No, let's
10
do
feet
American.
tall. 10 feet tall.
10 feet.
10 feet tall. 10, 11 feet tall.
Oh, by the way,
And the hammer's
World
6 feet
Breaker To go back on Horus, that was broken by Abaddon. Abaddon breaks it later on past the heresy.
Oh, yeah, but it's like way past
Yeah.
the hairs. But that's what I'm saying. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Angron. Angron has his weapons are still in the 41st millennium. And that's also really fun. So he has two weapons called Gore Child and Gore Father. They're two chain axes that he would double yield.
He's still carrying them.
Yeah. No, he's not carrying them. Karn is carrying one of them.
That's right. Karn the Betrayer has
Karn the
one.
Betrayer has Gore Child right now. And
did he
Gore
betray?
Father. He betrays everybody. Karn the Betrayer.
Karn fights for whoever can hurt him.
Yeah.
So if you hurt Karn, he now fights for you.
Yeah.
Because you're the strongest.
Yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, he had double chain axes, these massive chain axes that he would double yield. If you look at his heresy model, those are Gore Child and Gore Father.
Oh, okay.
And then if you look at his 40K one, he's only got one.
He's only got one. Yeah. And so that's, and the other one is with Karn the Betrayer, who has to, it's so big that it's a two-handed weapon for him. So that's just kind of that's the idea of how big this
Angron's story
motherfucker is. Let's see. Sanguinius has some really cool stuff.
Well, Sanguinius is a little dead.
Yeah. but
He's not just a little dead.
he's very dead.
Very, very, very dead.
Very dead.
He's got a super sexy sword.
Called the Blade in Carmine.
Yep.
Power
And,
sword.
It's super, super dope.
And then he's got the Spear of Tiesto.
Yep.
Telesto.
Not the DJ.
Yeah, Telesto, which
what-
is basically a laser spear.
So-
shoots fucking lasers.
So when Sanguinius dies at the hands of Horus, what happens to his weapons then?
They went back to the Blood Angels.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
Still have
recovered them
them.
both.
Yeah.
So like in a museum?
Yeah.
No, doesn't Golden Boy, the dude that wears the mask?
No, he does not wield.
I thought
any of
Dante
those.
had one.
Nope, Dante does not. He has the Axe Mortalis. And
That's right.
yeah. Sorry, I did research on this motherfucker.
So what, they're just like in a safe somewhere?
yeah, they're just holding on to him.
Okay.
Let's see here. Fulgrim, Lionel Johnson has a bunch of different swords. He's big into swords. He has
Yeah,
the
but
lion
he has
sword.
the one main,
Well, now he has fealty, it's called, which
Sword-
is not his
well,
original sword.
because someone else has the original sword.
Yeah, has the original sword. They're everywhere. So he has the lion sword. He has the wolf blade, which is a chain sword. Lion sword was a power sword. He has fealty, which is what he's currently using. And then he has a couple of different weapons as well.
Isn't it like a theory that the guy that's not really the same guy, but it's more of like a position like James Bond has his sword?
Yes.
Who am I
great.
thinking of?
Cypher.
Cypher.
Cypher
yeah.
has
He's like James Bond.
supposedly
It's a
has the
title.
lion sword.
Yeah, it's a title. It's not necessarily
Yeah,
a
Cypher
singular
apparently
person.
has the lion sword.
Yeah.
So that is in the 41st millennium. If you see his model and everything, he is not carrying the lion sword. That is a common misconception. He is carrying a new blade called fealty.
But that is the Emperor's shield.
But that is the
Yes.
Emperor's shield. Correct. Prayer Turbo we talked about. Jagatai-kun is
Wow.
what? Is that bad? Do we have to cut that out?
Shame
Well,
on you.
no.
Shame
We're
on your
like-
family.
we're-
Shame on your cow.
We're far enough for YouTube's not going to flag us for
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. I'm sorry. He has the White Tiger Dao sword.
What's
Yep.
a Dao sword?
A Dao sword are like the martial arts swords that are thin and then they widen out and then they curve on the top.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they're the ones that they do
Yeah.
fancy.
A
You ever
lot
seen
of people
Crouching
confuse
Tiger?
them with scimitars,
Yeah, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
but they're
They
not.
use
So
them.
they're
Yeah.
super thin, and then they get fat on the end and have that barb on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a Dao.
that's a Dao sword.
Interesting.
So yeah, and then Lehman Bruss was also one that had a ton of weapons. He had a frost blade called Mjolnir, of course.
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
No, it's not printed. It's not written the same way. Right there. Ah,
Oh, no.
did
It's
you
like
do?
Mjolnir.
yeah, it's like AR instead of ER.
Oh, Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Mjolnir.
So that just so that they could
It's
say that it's different.
MJA.
Yeah, it's very similar, but it's not.
Mjolnir instead of Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Very same.
So that was a frost blade. Frost blades are actually super cool. I'm going to get into a little bit of lore on that. Frost blades are made from the teeth of a kraken on Fenris,
Yep.
and they are the hardest material known. And so you make these like chain swords out of these with these teeth on there, and they can cut through anything. It's fucking cool. And then he also had a Hellwinter, which was a frost axe. He also had the wolf spear, which was something given to him directly from the emperor. And that would teach people the truth about themselves.
Yeah, so it's it's the partner partner spear to the one that he gave to the Grand Praetorian. The what's his nuts? The leader of
Valdor
Constantine, who has
such a Russian name.
Who has a 600 word real name.
Yeah.
That's micro inscribed inside of his armor.
That if you actually wrote out his name, it was an entire book.
Yep. So, so it's a thing with the Custodes. Every accomplishment that you make, you get it adds to your title, to your name.
And that was like something the Emperor did to, because in the lore there's something called name magic.
Yeah.
Where if you know somebody's true name, like a demon
or an individual,
you have complete control over them.
And so the more these guys accomplish, the longer their name got.
Interesting.
So the longer your name gets,
the harder
you are to control.
Yeah. So it's like all of a sudden, like somebody's just like trying to control Constantine, just like, hold on, I got another hour saying 600 fucking names.
So, but he's got a spear.
I forget what it's called.
That when you stab something with it, tells you their true name and their history. So, but Russ's spear tells
the person
the truth of themselves. So you get to see what you are for who you are,
what you really are.
And so the mirror of that is that you learn the truth of what they are.
I feel like that'd be so.
And
annoying
the Custodes had the Constantine had.
Yeah.
Has that one.
You'd just be schwacking people with that spear, and they'd be like, "I am this name. This is where I come from." You're like, "Yeah, okay, okay." I'm trying to kill all these people, and then you have like, "I am Bob, the owner of something," and I am James, I am Steve, and you're like, "I don't."
But
care.
he actually, there's a part in the lore where he's like just wrecking shop like on like demons, and he's just like, "I don't care what your name is anymore," like as he's just killing people.
That's exactly what I imagine. It's like, I don't care, I just want to kill you.
Are you talking about Constantine?
Yeah, Constantine.
Yeah, so Constantine, when he's going through and he's killing all these demons, it's flooding his brain with the information of these demons from the warp, and he's just like, "Please shut the fuck up. This is just supposed to be a bloodbath."
So
and instead,
fucking annoying.
Instead, I'm listening to the class roster, and it's like I don't care.
I'm just reading out of the phone book.
Yeah,
I wanted Metallica on my playlist, not roll call.
But Russ is when he stabs you with it, you just have to face like your actual inner truth, like
which sounds so much worse.
Could you imagine? He just walks up casually and just like, "Let me see your hand," and just pokes you with it. You're just like, Oh God.
I'm gonna go lay down now.
My daddy never loved me.
I'm just gonna hate this. Rogodorn's super boring. He has Storm's teeth, which is a chainsword.
Well, Rogodorn is very boring in general.
You know what? I double down on that one. Dorn's fucking boring. I'm sorry, but
the Imperial fists are boring.
They are.
The fists are boring. Yeah. Dorn is boring. I like walls. I like to build walls. For a while, for 300 years, I scratched on a wall till a brick broke, and then I was able to break out of that wall, and then I spent the next 10,000 years building more fucking walls.
I got one.
One-handed.
I got one. No, Dorn, to me, seems like he's going to show me the most interesting scratch and sniff banana-smelling sticker I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think Dorn was really into model trains.
Bruh. Yeah.
There's going to be some Imperial Fist player that listens to this and be like, "Oh, fucking hate you."
What are you talking about? He was really into his garage had like a lot of model trains. He had a weird hat on when he played with them.
Choo-choo.
He had a conductor's hat. Dorn over his yellow armor. It's got those striped overalls.
It's just like, wait a minute, look at this. Look at this real log action.
Hold on. This is a...
Primarch,
you know what Dorn is?
pajamas.
You ever seen the Polar Express?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know the kid on Polar Express that goes like,
poor kid?
"Do you know what kind of train this is? This is a 1936, and it like goes into like how much it weighs and like the whole fucking 9 yards." Yeah. That was Dorn growing up.
Yeah, it's you and fire trucks.
It's me and fire trucks, baby. It's me and fire trucks. I like fire trucks.
I know. And the winner for the most weirdest names that does not fit the person is Conrad Cruz. He had Kurz. He had dual lightning claws called Mercy and Forgiveness, and that motherfucker never had mercy or forgiveness for anybody.
That motherfucker. No.
Like, Conrad and discipline is the same idea.
Conrad had so many fucking issues not dealing with mercy that it broke his little brain.
Just,
Yeah.
It wasn't a phase dad, Conrad Kurz.
That's a no. Conrad Kurz is not. You're thinking of the Raven Guard.
He still seems emo though.
Conrad, the vampire?
Conrad, drive me to this concert, Dad.
No,
Kurz.
Conrad Kurz is.
Yes.
He's the vampire.
Yeah.
He's the
Batman.
He's the one that
he's
everyone's
like
he's Batman. He's not Batman. He's not
Batman
Batman.
is not that lame.
If
Conrad's a cannibal.
He's in everything.
at
He's fucking insane.
He's Hannibal Lecter.
yeah, I'll give you Hannibal
Yeah.
Lecter,
He wears faces,
but he's
on
not
his
Batman.
cloak.
Everybody's like, oh, he's the Primarch Batman. He's not. He's not.
He's Hannibal Lecter.
Let's see.
He's like, you know why? Batman doesn't wear hockey pads.
Batman also doesn't wear
hockey pads.
Batman also doesn't wear skin of other people.
So Conrad Kurz, no. You're talking about Corvus Corax.
Oh,
Corvus
Corax.
Corax.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes. He
Corvus.
has the Raven's House, also a dual lightning claw, and Homeboy has a 3-headed whip, a power whip.
Yep.
3-headed power whip.
Yeah.
So, because Corvus Corax, they are all about silent attack and subterfuge. And then
like a
when you do
band.
attack, it's shock and awe. So it's just like, because I'm going to tell you right now.
Do you know what the most shocking thing would
Nothing
be?
is more shocking if all of a sudden you're just like, did I just get whipped 3 times with one crack? Like, what the fuck?
Wait, is he going into a firefight with a whip?
Yeah.
I was just trying to sell my goods on a Sunday.
Because if an 11-foot tall man all of a sudden takes the field with nothing but a whip, you're going,
Dressed in black? It's just like,
am
I'm
I
out.
in the right place? I don't.
It's like getting hit with cat o' nine tails.
That man has a bird and a 3-headed whip.
Yeah.
I didn't. just
slowly braiding the whip in the
Yeah.
corner, just preparing it, just staring at
Rabute
people.
Guliman
Robot
is
Girly
nobody
Man.
cares.
Robot Girly Man. He has a Gladius power sword. He has the Hand of Dominion, which is kind of cool.
And a
That's what he
nightlight.
uses right now. And he also currently is wielding the Emperor's sword, which is, if you are reading The End of the Death, part 3.
Is it the actual Emperor's sword,
Yes.
The actual
though?
Gilliman.
Yes.
So Gilliman is the de facto leader of the Empire right now.
Yeah.
So because he's the most, well, one, he's the only Primarch that has contact with the Imperium right now.
Really?
So it's no other Primarch has contact with the Imperium right now in the 41st millennium.
Yeah.
In M41. Well, the Lion's alive now, but he was taking a nap
Yeah.
for like 10,000
He
years.
woke up, though.
So Gilliman,
He got better.
well, Gilliman was taking a nap too until they brought an alien in and
He
was
got
like,
better.
and was like, yo, Bobby G, did you see the tits on this chick? And he was like, bing, I'm awake now, motherfucker. This goes to show women,
You have
anytime, day or night, if you were in the mood, you can wake your man up and he is ready to go. Like it doesn't, you don't even be like, oh, he's sleeping so peacefully. Nope.
Unless he just ate barbecue. This might take a minute.
And look, it may take me a minute for me to wake up, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I'm not going to be mad.
Yeah.
It'll be like,
Gonna
oh,
fart
hold
a
on.
lot. It's not going to be good for you.
But Bobby G does actually have the sword, and it was if I'm not mistaken, it was given to him as a sign of his position of power.
He got it when he went in to talk to the Emperor.
and he came back out with it.
And he came out with the sword and he's like, anybody got a problem I took this? Nobody?
But that's the thing is that
Nobody?
like
Nobody?
you have the corpse
Nobody?
emperor on
Nobody?
the chair that's bolted there,
Yeah.
and I think he just walked up and was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm just gonna
Can I take this?
I'm gonna snatch this
I'm gonna
real
take
quick."
this.
All right, no, you're not gonna say anything.
Can I take the car too? Can I take the car?
And he kind of took it. and He was like, "All right, with your mouth, tell me no." No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. All
Cool.
right.
I'm gonna take this.
I'm going to take it. It's mine.
I'm gonna take this. I'm not gonna use it. I'm just gonna walk around with it because I have a lot of orating that I need to do.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna give
And this is
a
gonna be
rousing
good.
speech, and then I'm gonna go fight Mortarion and get killed.
Right. Speaking of Mortarion, I think he has the least usable weapon by far.
If you bring up the lantern, I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna tell you how wrong you are.
No, the power scythe.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, but okay, using it actually in combat.
It's incredible,
Like, how do you use it in combat?
bro. He's 12 feet tall.
I know, I understand that he's 12 feet tall.
So when you're 12 feet tall and everybody you're fighting is just a field of wheat, yes, a giant scythe that just reaps down your enemies is pretty awesome. And then you have the lantern, which is his pistol.
Yeah, the lantern's cool.
But
Yeah.
the scythe is also, it's a power scythe.
But it's
this
not
is literally
usable. It
just
doesn't make-
chopping people in half.
It's not a good like weapon, like a power maw, sword, axe, thing, scythe.
What do you think you're doing better with? A 10-foot long scythe or a 3-foot long sword?
The curved in blade just doesn't make any sense.
Better for torque and chopping. He's not worried about wounding motherfuckers.
Okay, we're just gonna agree to disagree on this one.
Who are we talking about?
Mortarion and his power
Mortarion's
scythe.
giant scythe.
And I'm saying that it's not a practical, like real world application weapon.
Well,
It's
scythe
cool
has
as
a very
fuck.
small hook.
No, it doesn't. It's a fucking long ass. hook.
Mortarion's scythe hook is like 7 feet long.
Yeah, it's just like huge.
Did you need to keep in mind when he became a demon Primarch, it scaled with him.
Yeah, no, I know that.
So he's now like 20 something feet tall, and the scythe is as tall as he is.
Right.
If it wasn't effective, death itself wouldn't walk around with one.
Well, that's just more of like reaping.
I was thinking more of like
It's not like one of those little
Russian
hand scythes.
That's
no,
what I was thinking.
It's like a big, hold it in the middle, hold it on the back, and you're swathing down like 10-foot arcs of fucking
That's
shit.
effective.
And that's if you're a human.
Yeah.
Now you're a 20-foot tall demon Primarch that flies.
Yeah, that's true. He has wings. That's true. All right.
I mean,
fine.
his wings look like nutsacks, but
It's not as bad as the current person we're about to talk about in his current costume in the 41st Millennium, Magnus and his
titty
with the
horns.
and his titty horns.
The titty horns.
horns.
how are those not just the weapon?
Just
I would
Just coming in, just
coming in hot.
I have yet to see someone impale like a space marine on the titty horns, and
Oh
I
my
really
I
want
would
to
have
see
so
that.
much respect for that.
That's great. I love that. He has the blade of Ana Natura,
Nobody
which
cares.
is a power copse
Let me see.
Copsy staff.
It's going to be an Egyptian weapon.
It's an Egyptian weapon.
Cups.
Cupsy. We got Worldbreaker. We already talked about him. Lorgar. He has a power maul. Nobody cares. He can't fight. And then
That's facts. Gold. God, Lorgar's such a bitch.
such a bitch.
Such a bitch. And he's got a bitch weapon.
Spoiler alert. For End of the Death, like at the beginning, they just talked to him. He's just like walking around, like just like
What are you going to do? I left. I went to this planet where they let me inhale a bunch of smoke.
yeah. Basically, I'm on a trip. I'm gonna.
He literally,
He's on a peyote trip.
he went to the fight and went, oh, I'm kind of useless here, huh?
And walks away.
They didn't think I was important as I should have been. And so he fucks off to one planet where these motherfuckers are like every type of weird ass anything. And they have names for all of it.
Yeah, like when it's basically trying to predict the future or see like
placentamancy.
yeah.
That was in the book.
Yeah.
Placentamancy, where they read the placenta after they had like whole farms of just where newborns are done so they can read placenta.
Yeah.
It's called placentamancy.
Ew.
Yeah.
And he's down for all of it. But apparently he was like, well, the most accurate one and precise is pyromancy,
Yeah.
which is just the reading of fire. And it was like,
Okay.
okay. And it
Fuck
does.
you, Lorgar.
It definitely goes to show, at least in the book, they nailed how fucking psycho he went. He is
I'm excited.
so gone, and all of his followers are
Who was
just getting
that's
high.
the word bearers.
Word bearers. Okay.
And they are
Just
just
high.
like, we're on this planet, and they crown him every day. Like it's talking about every day they give him another flower crown, and he's just walking around going like, yes, I knew it. And if they had listened to me, this all would have gone differently.
He was the one where Erebus came from, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Erebos. Erebus is a world breaker or a world bearer.
Nobody likes him.
And then finally, Alfarius Omagong has the Pale Spear, which is a Xenos weapon. And then they also have the Hydra's Spite, which is a Plasma Goon.
Yeah, so he's got a ridiculous pistol that he carries around, but then he has the spear. But the spear apparently allows him to gather information.
So it's a little bit like the other one.
Except for he can use it to gather information that you don't want to give him. So, yeah, it's apparently pretty dope.
But if nobody knows who
And it's
Alfarius
sexy as
or
shit.
Omegon is,
it looks good.
It seems like if they're really big into psychological operations, which seems like they do, I don't know much about the Alpha Legion, but
Nobody does.
seems like that they wouldn't actually be carrying their own weapons.
So keep in mind that every Alpha Legionnaire is Alfarius.
Right.
And
That's what I'm saying.
Alfarius is every Alpha Legionnaire.
But wouldn't
I'm Alfarius?
like a spear or a specific weapon
I'm
pull them out of a
Alfarius?
crowd?
Well, so the thing is
I'm
because
Alfarius.
he's the same size and the same look of every single one of his Legionnaires.
Sure.
It's not just that, but like the Hydra armor that he wears, because they
Exact
all have
same.
bespoke armor. So all of their armor has
Yeah,
a name
all
too.
specific.
But he can literally just hand that off, and you don't know that it's him.
But I feel like Alfarius or Omegon wouldn't actually be carrying their weapons. They'd give it to somebody else and be like, "Hey, you're Alfarius."
He's taken to the field before.
Yeah.
He took to the field in Isfahan 5.
Yeah.
The Alpha Legion showed up and fought.
Really?
And then
I think
promptly
I'm on Isfahan
when
3.
certain legions got annihilated, they instantly transformed the armor on some of the Alpha Legionnaires to take the
Quick,
space
change,
of some of the survivors so that they could infiltrate those legions. The Alpha Legion is
Because I finished
Fucked up. I just matter
Flight
of-
of the Eisenstein. I
You
think
know
that's,
nothing.
That's, no, I know. That's
Book 7
Isfahan
is-
3.
yes, book 7 is Legion,
Okay.
and that's when you're really going to see how just why I am such an Alpha
Yeah.
Legion fan.
Well, there's so many
'Cause it-
Isfahans.
I always
right there.
I always think like Alfarius is like he like wakes up in the morning, he's like having his cup of coffee, and then he looks at his to-do list and he's like, oh shit, I gotta go do this, and this,
You know
and this. And then he walks out of his thing, he's like, you, Joe, get over here. Put on my armor. Pretend to go to this meeting.
You want to know something? You want to know something interesting?
Freaky
about
Friday all the time.
Alfarius doesn't drink coffee. Starts his day with a tall glass of Yoo-hoo.
Okay.
Why does he drink you? Oh,
Nobody knows.
For the taste.
fuck you. I thought that was gonna be a good joke. No.
Actually, I heard that a brother told him that was the best way to start the day. Do you know who that brother was?
Was it Russ?
It was Lehman Russ.
Because
what
he was
was it?
right.
Did we go through his?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Lehman Rice had
And Lehman Russ, as we know, is right. And if you don't believe me, you can go buy the hoodie.
Yeah, now you can.
Yep.
Russ is right.
So,
hoodie.
Drink
anyways, my friends, thank you for being nerds with me.
Yep,
I appreciate you.
it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, games, drinks, and hijinks is what we highly encourage here on Warhammered Podcast. If you want to know more about one of the weapons, you can put it in the comments and then we'll ignore you.
Yep. Hey, Eric, if you're listening,
Go fuck yourself.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Eric.
I mean, but you know, if you're not Eric but have the name Eric, you're still cool.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
But if
drink
you're going to go
everywhere.
put shit like that, I want you to go open your fridge, look in the meat drawer, make sure you don't have 80-20 in there.
He's gonna go in there and just look. He's like, "Fuck,
Fucking damn it.
I was gonna make a hamburger."
Everyone that listens to this would be like, but I buy 80-20 for my cheeseburger.
Why? Don't.
don't.
Buy 90-10 or higher and then put a little pork in it. Tastes better.
I use it for my cheeseburger.
You're gonna non-season your cheeseburger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why you use 80-20 because you're like, it's
You're
for a
using
cheeseburger.
white bun, and you're just
Yeah.
like putting no seasoning on your ground
But a
beef.
good cheeseburger is
use
a blend
American
of
cheese.
beef and pork
And
with some-
Worcestershire sauce.
and an egg and a little
Worcestershire.
washer sister sauce. And then
Wash the cheeseburger.
Wash your sister's
Worcestershire sauce.
sauce.
Herster sauce.
so, anyways,
sauce.
go out there, fucking have a drink, push some plastic, be a
Yeah,
nerd.
go
That's
have
what
fun.
we're all about
Buy
here.
second pitch beer.
Buy Second Pitch Beer. Go check out battlepub.com for all of your official Warhammered podcast merch.
Yeah, I reorganized
we
the
love
website.
you for it. Yeah,
it's
so it's
easier to find.
And anyways, guys, we're going to see you next time. Hit them with a gem.
Bye.